bright Māori perspectives. Breaking the hard stories.
It's a big year. The world we're living in is changing so fast.
Matariki he renga waka.
Ka rere ngā karekia re tō ngā waiata whake ihihi me ngā kōrero paitake.
Today is a perfect opportunity for all of us to pause, to ask ourselves, what have we learned?
Nau mai, hoki mai ki Waitangi 2026.
Like a lot of us, I'm still on my own haringa, working out what it means to be Māori to me.
We're all survivors because she sheltered us. She sheltered our people. If it hadn't been for enemy, our line would have been lost.
Tēnei te kura tuatai o Te Ao.
My pronunciation's really bad.
You sound alright to me.
I meant my Te Reo Māori.
Oh.
I can't believe this is happening!
Koe ārunga.
Ko ki te rānei koe i tētahi mea pēnei te ātāhua.
Kāo, kare kau.
Nā te ako i te reo I whai pakiaka ai I tēnei whenua. O reira ko tāku he hāpai I te kaupapa.
Come here, hi cutie.
Yes, girl.
If you do not tell Dad, I will.
This is home.
One of the place to look nice for when she comes back.
You'll experience consciousness on a whole new level.
Whoa, whoa, kid.
He krewa tiki, tai ho tātai ka ki tēnei.
Mea marahea.
He ho taka tamariki ki tēnei.
Ko te puāwaitanga ia mai o tō tātou ahurea, ki o tātou pākainga. He inati, he manamana hau.
Kia Māori tau, kia Māori ora, kia ora.
E tau nei e te pōkei au kia tātou katoa. He tohu o te hina pōuri ki te hunga. Kua rāu me mene atu raki tua. Ngā mate o te wā. Hara mai haere. Tātou kei te ao marama ti hewa Māori ora. And welcome back to the Hui. The explosion in methamphetamine addiction across Aotearoa is causing a wave of abuse of our elderly. But kuia based in Hawke's Bay say nannies should no longer remain silent about the financial and physical harm they've suffered at the hands of their meth-addicted whānau. Flexmere kuia Ngātiriti King, Bessie Manaina, Hedda Ferris and Lovey Edwards spoke to Aroha Treacher.
We live under a shadow.
a dark shadow.
I'm 85.
73.
85 years of age.
Ngā Tiriti King is up early in Flaxmere and is on her way to pick up other nannies, Hera, Lovey and Bessie.
Morena. Morena. What a lovely morning, eh?
They're nannies on a mission.
Morena, Lovey. We're on our way to pick you up.
Oh, God. I'm ready to go back to bed.
Good friends.
Morena.
But it's shared trauma that has brought them together.
I was home on my own.
Late one night, a whānau member unexpectedly visited Ngā Tiriti at her home.
We talked about just normal things, but I sensed there was something not quite clicking. We got in a bit of an argument. I realised then I might be in danger. Something triggered him. He was standing by the kitchen drawers. And then he opened up the drawer and we had a cleaver in the drawer and he pulled it out. And he just locked me in the corner with one hand around my throat and the cleaver. And I was able to hand the cleaver to my throat and I just kept praying. The door was pushed open and it was quite late at night. The door pushed open and it was our daughter. So how did she know? Honestly, it was a miracle. I would say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress.
The experience opened her eyes to the devastating impact of meth addiction on her loved ones, and she found she wasn't alone.
I've been with Nannies Against P for 2 years.
Nannies Against P is a grassroots community support network founded in Ngāti Kahungunu.
Do we get paid for this film?
How many nannies are there?
We have at least 20.
You sort of think, well, you're not the only one on this earth that's suffering. Many other nannies too out there suffering.
They hui often to share what was once a secret in a safe space.
I realised that a lot of nannies I knew, they had this problem, but they whakamā to tell anybody else.
P addiction can leave nannies picking up the pieces.
The nannies are taking children from the parents because they want to look after them, because knowing that their parents are on drugs.
I didn't want to talk about it.
I don't know whether it was shame or something.
It's their own whānau, the ones they love, who are causing them harm.
My moko wanted to come and live with me, and I said, no, you can't, but he was getting abusive, and I just passed the phone to my daughter. She listened to what he was saying, and she said, no, you leave Nanny alone.
They can be taken advantage of financially too.
We intend to, as grandmothers, think love is by letting them having money, taking our car, but it's not, it's abuse. So, you know, we have to educate ourselves.
There's really not much help out there for us nannies. We just cope amongst ourselves.
And bringing P-addicted whānau back home is not always the answer.
I had young ones that were naughty, and with the help of the police, we managed to bring them here to rehabilitate them. We put up with them here for like 18 months.
And what were they like when they were on meth?
Not nice, you know. You couldn't talk to them. Everybody else was to blame for their life.
Did they threaten you?
Yes. When you see them without it, you wouldn't believe that they're the same people. They can be so beautiful and then they can be so ugly. It hurts us as nannies. I'm supposed to be a wahine tō, a mana wahine, but I'm a wahine mamai for the mokos.
Suicide has also left its scars.
It was sad because he left 5 children behind, 5. My grandson, both him and his partner, had an addiction to the drugs. So that was 6 years ago. I was devastated. I just couldn't believe this, you know. He was a good dad.
The nannies have gathered here at Waimarama Marae for a hui to raise awareness around addiction in the community.
Nō reira, mihi ana ki te maia, me te tautoko, a rātou tautoko i te kaupapa nei. Kāre rātou mo te whakamoe i te kaupapa nei, kei te pupuri tonu rātou i te kaupapa, kei te haere tonu rātou ki ngā huihuinga, e whakatairangi hia nei i te kaupapa, Nannies Against P.
Well, I've spent 53 years of my life in this community. I'm probably know more about gangs than anyone else in this country.
Because when I came into the mongrel, we drew our patches.
Mongrel Mob Life member Harry Tam is here to give insights into a world he knows better than most.
So my whole kōrero was to raise the awareness of our community of trauma and the need to treat trauma. It is really important.
Co-director of community group H2R, Harry works with hard-to-reach and marginalised Māori, and he is here for the nannies.
They're having to deal with it all on their own, you know, because how many services are there to support the nannies, eh? Yeah, we'll support the people with addictions, we'll support the people that are on bed, but who's supporting the nannies when she's having to do all this, yeah?
We didn't really ask for any of this, the drug to be here with us. I've always blamed our governments because they should be looking after our borders, patrolling it better than what it is. They're accountable, but I don't think they want to hear that because nobody wants to hear that they're to blame.
The people that make the policies, very few know our realities in our lives.
Tam says treating trauma first and supporting reintegration is the key to healing and reducing gang involvement.
It's not an easy fix. So what is the motivation for our people to change, right? We give them a vision and it's about drugs, crime, prison. It's a dead-end vision. What's the vision of growing and having a good future for your family? Because until we change that conversation and have that vision, this is where we're going to be.
With no end in sight to the pea epidemic, the nannies took a claim to the Waitangi Tribunal in May this year.
What we wanted was safe places for the kaumatas. You know, with a solo parent, they're beaten up. They've got a place for them. A kaumata doesn't.
The claim sought funding to build their own safe house in Hastings.
We have refuges here, you know, safe houses for people, but the nannies just want one for their own so that they can have their mokos and they're not just crowded.
And they also have the backing of iwi leaders.
He pai, a rātou kōrero, o rātou whakaro. Kua titia ki te nāka o te traipūnara, tāku I titiro nei, tāku nei ki te karauna, kia whakapuki ake, o rātou tautoko, a rātou nei mahi. Hei tāwharau I te hunga kua tūkenotia, hei āwhina I ngā kaupapa pēnei I a Nannies Against P. Kia whakapū āwaitia, kia whakawhanake hia, kia toroa nā ringa ki ngā hunga e tika ana. Nā runga anō I te iti o te pūtea, te iti o te tautoko a te kāwanatanga, he mahi ua, he pikaunga nui.
With healing in their hearts, the nannies continue their fight to raise awareness of this issue.
Just take care and be aware. We have to be aware for the sake of the mokopunas. All we can do is offer them advice and, if possible, help them. That's a big job, isn't it?
I understand. It's not them who actually are triggered by it, it's what they take, you know. There's forgiveness. It's all God.
Kia kahara ki o tātou kuia. He kōrero nō kei te hui. He kōrero e whai ake ane tā marama. After the break, legendary navigator Bruce Blakenfeld from the waka Hukulea is on the hui next.
The drama of marama. The aroha of This Is Home. The flavour of Kia Eats the World.
Just like Mum used to make.
And one app that just got better. Now all the whānau gets a profile, so you get more of what you're into. Now, pause over here, pick up over there. Update the app, sign in, and we'll handle the rest. All you need to decide
This Is Home
is what to watch first. Download the new Māori Plus app now.
Toia mai te wakataputu ki te Moana māwai e tō mā tātou katoa e tō. It's 51 years since the waka Hukulea undertook its first journey from Hawaii to Tahiti, and in the process helped reinvigorate traditional navigation across Te Moananui-a-Kiwa. The journey continues today to train the next generation of navigators. And I sat down with the captain of Hukulea, the legendary Bruce Blakenfeld.
We're here with the Va'a because we're on this multi-year journey of Moananui-a-Kiwa. So we're here right now to take care of the Va'a, to make sure they're in good shape for when they leave next month on a little sail, and all the systems are functioning. But basically, we're here in Aotearoa to continue this longer journey of learning as much as we can in our generation about voyaging, so we can continue to pass on to the next generations and get them in a position with their knowledge and their understanding of this, that they're ahead of us where we started.
But you've been in this a long time though.
I started on Hukulea in 1977, right after the first voyage. And we were so fortunate because Hukulea was only built for that one voyage. And there was really no plans for any further sailing or voyaging. So,
and here we are.
Here we are. And here we are, 51 years later.
Yeah, 51 years later. But the thing that strikes me when you say you're here to keep learning, what more is there to know, Bruce, after 51 years?
You know, we celebrated last year 50 years of voyaging, but really the way we're beginning to see it is that right now we are on a 500-year voyage.
Wow.
And the reason we envision that is because apparently there was a gap of that many centuries from when voyaging pretty much came to a halt, a pause, until Hukulea, apparently in Polynesia, was the first canoe built for voyaging in like 500, 600 years, right? So it's like as we've continued to voyage to the future, we're constantly have our learning senses or learning hats on or whatever it is to the past. It's like we're going back to a point where the pause was to try and reconnect in a larger, more pa'a way as we go forward. And then that's why I'd say, we want to leave the next generation with as much as we can.
Do you think there are things in our past that can help solve some of our issues today?
I do. There's indigenous knowledge and an indigenous way of looking at the world, at the ocean and the land. And when the first foreigners came to these islands, these lands, there was a system. There was a cultural way of living within these lands that one of the things that they called it was aina momona. The land was always rich and bountiful. And pretty much everywhere we went to, that was like a way of life. So it was a way to make the land, to keep it bountiful. So, us as the kanaka, tangata of the place, would be cared for.
I've heard someone describe it as balanced duality.
Yeah.
That the more you're away from land, the more you appreciate the whenua. The more you're away from the sea, the more you appreciate the moana. Have we lost that interconnectedness that we once held? And can you see it coming back now?
Yeah, I think we did lose it. I mean, like, you know, all of our food is in a supermarket. We just go over there and grab and go, and we just forget about it. But I think a big part of this journey is to get people to really understand the intricacies of nature. One of the things that we're really concerned about right now on this voyage is the climate, you know, the conditions of our oceans and the fragility of it. I mean, you know, we're 75% water on this planet. I mean, that's a fact. And we're running out of fresh water across this planet. You know, the 25% or 25 or 28% or whatever it is of land and our reliance on fresh water, it's like unbalanced. And so we're losing that. And I just think that that's part of this voyage. It's understanding, is how we educate our youngsters in the world that they need to adapt to. And the world that, you know, through that, a key to the adaptation is understanding what they're adapting to and how they're going to do it. It can't just be a specialized science. It needs to be everyday knowledge of what we all need to do.
I'm sitting here with you and I can see heke nuku mai.
Ah, yeah.
Just on the hoi whakatere, on the hoi whakauē. And I understand that there's another name, and a well-known Māori name, that will be added to this waka.
Yes, the front mast, and we just got to take off the sail cover, but on the boom, Sir Tumu Te Heo back in 2012, when this canoe was launched before we left here, I asked him if he would name that front mast for us because we wanted to keep this connection to Aotearoa, you know, the birthplace of this whaka. And so he said, okay, I'll think about it. And then he came back maybe about a week later, back up to Green Heights up here. And he had a little group with him, and they named that front mast after one of the ancestors, Natoroirangi.
Natoroirangi.
And then he told us a story, and it was really beautiful. It was pretty ceremonial, where he talked about it, and then there was some waiata.
Yeah.
So the duality of this waka, this back mast is named after a Hawaiian navigator called Kamuhualele. And Kamuhualele is, all those Natoroirangi, they had that high status, you know, people of spirituality, knowledge, and all of that.
The name Natoroirangi, of course, who called for the fire to come and help him on the maunga of Tongariro.
Yeah.
And of course that name carries significance because Tumu's grandson, Ahipu Mamau, the fire from afar.
Oh.
So lovely connections, eh? Lovely connections, Bruce. And of course, given your history in Hawaii, volcanoes, and all that interconnectedness. Eh? Gee, we're all the same, eh, Bruce?
Yeah, yeah, we are. Absolutely.
We're all the same.
Absolutely.
Well, let me just say in closing, Bruce, 500 years I've lost, but I look forward to the next 500 years.
I do too.
Bruce, thank you. Tēnā koe. Te rangatira. Ka nui te mea kia.
He tākoro hou e kara mui mui ana e te tino tangata. The sport of pickleball, not just for the fickle, is up next on the Hui.
E ti ao mai ai te māramatanga.
Taku pātai tonu ki a tātou.
I te ao Māori.
Me te tapu anō hoki o te iwi Māori, o te hia mano tāngata e tai mai ai ki runga o pōneke.
Me te ngā kaupono.
Ko te ahua whakanui I etahi o nā whakahaere.
Ko ngā kai kawe pūrongo e kawe nei I ngā kōrero.
Nā te pākina o ngā reo karanga I konei.
Ki roto ki ngā pūkoro o e nei kaimahi.
Te ao Māori News e kawe nei ngā kaupapa Māori ki te ao.
No mai anō e hoa mā. Pickleball is one of the fastest growing sports on the planet. The hybrid sport that's a mix of tennis, badminton and table tennis is also proving a hit across Aotearoa. This month, Hastings hosted the inaugural Māori Pickleball Champs. And any day now, 2 young Māori champions are heading to the Junior World Cup in Vietnam. And even our reporter, John Boynton, decided to have a crack.
It's one of the hottest sports on the planet.
When I first heard the name, I was like, what the heck? Why would people play something that's called pickleball?
And it's taking hold in small town Aotearoa. Is your whānau mad about pickleball?
I would say so.
100%.
Lots of people here are mixing with people they never would have mixed with before, because this game is such fun.
Ōpiki is in the heartland of the Horowhenua district.
Ōpiki, yes. Centre of the universe.
Any famous people from Ōpiki?
The Whitelocks rugby. Sam's just bought the family farm, so he's a local
Just down
now.
the road, yeah.
Benji and Amy Hohepa hope their daughter Moana will put Ōpiki on the map too.
She'll play any sport. She played squash and got introduced to pickleball, and it's sort of no turning back from there.
Blake with the high put away.
In recent years, pickleball has skyrocketed in popularity. The sport is a mix of tennis, badminton and table tennis.
Come on.
Unbelievable.
With a lucrative professional league in the US, even receiving the Hollywood treatment.
An epidemic is sweeping across our once great nation, and its name is...
Pickleball, bitch!
Get your pickleball ass out of here. So it's a game for all ability, all ages. Doesn't matter if you're tall, short, anyone can play.
Moana first started playing with her dad, Benji.
All the time. Yep.
She plays her best when she's playing against her dad.
Yeah, there's no love loss when we play together, which is fine.
But the practice is paying off.
This one was my first big tournament in Auckland, and it was the New Zealand Open, and I came first in the open doubles in the 3.5 and under.
It's club night, and the whole whānau are heading to the Horowhenua Pickleball Club.
Everyone treats Moana as their own.
Right from when people walk in through that door, if there's new people, we smile, we go straight up to them, we make sure that they're cared for. The manaaki is to care for, right?
Club President Mandy Fryer says anyone at any level can come and give it a go.
We're telling our whānau, we're telling our people, like, come, and they're like, oh, I don't want to do that. And you go, look, just come along. If it's not you, that's fine. And they get here and they just love it. So for myself, I hadn't actually exercised for over 20 years. Come here and did that, and I absolutely loved it.
Club night is also a chance for Moana to catch up with her doubles partner, Maya. What makes you two such a good pairing?
I guess like our communication. Maya's got the power, Moana has the touch.
They'll both be representing Aotearoa at the first ever Pickleball Junior World Cup in Vietnam in August.
It's pretty special, being so young from a small Ōpiki, you know, just, taking on the world. It's cool.
Like when people ask us where we're from, we say live in, but they don't actually know where it is. So it's actually pretty good, two young people going over to represent New Zealand.
And what are you doing to prepare for the tournament?
We're doing lots of fundraising and coaching.
Coaching. Maybe I need a lesson. As a die-hard tennis fan and player, I'm quite keen to give pickleball a go. Don't judge my t-shirt, it's a tennis one. Maya's Koro Richie is giving me a few tips.
It's a skillful game.
But how hard can it be?
Since he's a learner, we'll give him a fair go, okay?
Is there something wrong with my paddle?
It's got a particular bounce, the pickleball. No, that's what I mean. It's got its own style. Yeah. Not like tennis. Hey there, John.
This is fast. Too fast. Oh, not that one.
That's it. Oh, very good shot.
But I finally started getting the hang of it and can see why people get hooked.
Great play.
The next morning, competitors from around the country have arrived here in Levin, with medals and reputations on the line. Community leader Hine Flood is in the thick of the competition.
When I first heard the name, I was like, what the heck? Why would people play something that's called pickleball? But it wasn't until we were actually introduced to the game itself, got a feel for the paddle, had a little bit of a hit. You can be quite aggressive or you can be passive if you want to.
She sees firsthand how pickleball can bring a positive change to communities.
We saw Māori men coming to play the sport. And so we immediately saw that if our men are coming out of their homes, then there's going to be less vulnerability in those homes for our people. And we were just motivated to, let's give this sport a go. We only had badminton courts, so it was a real mission to get our courts prepared for the game. But every week, the numbers just grew and grew. And our whānau were coming, they were losing weight, they didn't come to lose weight.
So she decided to start the Māori Pickleball New Zealand Association.
If the pickleball court means that they're going to come out of their homes, which they wouldn't normally do, ordinarily, then that is huge for us. That is huge for wellbeing.
The 2026 Māori Pickleball Tournament was held this weekend in Hastings.
It is our first one, but it will not be the last. So our job is to ensure it is a success and that it becomes an annual kaupapa, so it can be a platform for rangatahi.
Rangatahi like Moana and Maya.
One of the things that I've recognised about Maya and Moana Lee was the manner in which they played the sport. You know, humārie, willing to play with their dad and their uncle, you know, and just supportive, you know, cheering other people on. And so for us to have these babies as Māori represent us on that world stage, then our role is to make sure that the pathway for them and their whānau to get there is okay.
Do you like having your whānau involved?
Yes, because like we go everywhere and then you can just like go different places, play with them.
The girls are cheering on their team. The game is down to the wire, so to break the deadlock, they're playing a dream maker. The first to 21 points by a margin of 2 wins the game. They end up just winning 21 to 19. Pickleball will keep everyone here coming back for more.
So for me as a 67-year-old, I know I could still be playing this sport for another 20 years.
Come and give it a try and you'll enjoy it.
Yep, come have a go.
And the more you practice, the better you'll be.
You let your paddles do the talking?
Yes.
I don't know about you, but I think I could nail that sport. I think I could. A kāti koe ria ke te kōrero, te hākina kina o te hui ki konei mō tēnei raro, po te he te he. Join us next week for more from Te Ao Māori. Until then, e ngai hui, kia mau, ki te tūranga o taputapu Ātea, haumi e, hui e, taiki e.
The best kind of people I want to interview are the ones that have got something really significant to say.
The new season of award-winning current affairs.
It's really about having a conversation and listening.
Te Ao with Moana, ki Māori Plus, me whakaata Māori.
Election season is coming.
And there's a lot of noise out there.
Promises.
Haupapa here, those policies.
And even those arguments.
That was in the headlines this week, whānau.
Kia hara wa te pāpātanga ki te iwi Māori.
That's where we come in.
He ha te whakatau i Te Ao Māori News e Māori Plus.
Kia ora and welcome. Continuing with conversations with political leaders in the lead up to the election tonight, I'm with David Seymour, Leader of ACT and current Deputy Prime Minister. It's been a long while, so there's been a lot to catch up on. Unfortunately, we had some technical problems, so the audio on his mic isn't that good. very disappointed in that and apologise. Hopefully he can get past it because there are some robust exchanges, as you might expect. Anyway, here goes. Kia ora, no mai haere mai.
Kia ora, thanks for having me on the show.
You know, I'm quite impressed. You drove here by yourself. You're the Deputy Prime Minister. Is that how things roll in Aotearoa, or is that just your party?
It's a tough financial environment for the government. When I'm doing acting Prime Minister, I get the police following me around, and you kind of feel like you've got to do something really important, like I could save the world or something, so I just want to get a coffee.
This is probably our 4th or 5th interview, and I just want to thank you for that, because both you and Winston Peters have been very open to interviews. We've struggled with the leader of the National Party. The one and only one was in April 2022. Can you put in a good word for us?
Yeah, absolutely. They love taking my advice.
Christopher Luxon, of course, he survived the 2 votes of confidence from his caucus, and he says he has 100% support. Do you have 100% confidence in his leadership?
Yeah, I do. 2 observations about Chris. Number one, he's united his caucus, and I think the reason that they've kept him there is they know that before he came along, they were at each other like cats and dogs, and I suspect if he was gone, they'd be at it again. So he's united his caucus, but he's also united the government. I mean, without going into the people talk about the personalities and all that, fine. But I would just make the point that there's never been 3 parties in a cabinet before in the history of our country, and yet we've managed to get more legislation through than any other government in like 40 years. Now, some people say you're rushing too much legislation. Yeah, I think that's a fair criticism. I worry about rushed legislation, but you can't be dysfunctional and disunited and getting more work done than anyone else in 40 years. So that's the thing that he has brought to the table. And from an ACT Party point of view, it's been fantastic. I mean, you look at what we've been able to do as part of this government, you know, bringing back charter schools, we've got school attendance down, we've transformed Farm Act, we've redone the Resource Management Law, Brooke Van Velden's done the Holidays Act, and Pay Equity, and Employment Law, and Health and Safety. Nicole McKee has done the Arms Act of anti-money laundering and got the courts shaken up and going faster. We've got, I mean, I could go on and on, but the ACT Party has been able to achieve a lot in this government, and so for that reason, yeah, I've got confidence in the go.
I mean, you have had a lot of influence, so you wouldn't want someone like Christopher Luxon to leave, would you?
Well, we want the government to be stable and united, and despite the fact that some members of the government occasionally get a bit grumpy, actually we've discovered that we can work very effectively.
Do you believe his line that it was just one minister that was going for him?
Well, that's what he's saying, so yes, and you know, when it comes to the National Party, I don't go to their caucus meetings, I don't know what's said, I don't really know if there's sort of some that like each other and others that don't, because they're all smiling at each other when I see them, but you know, I do sometimes wonder if maybe I like them more than they like each other. So,
could be the way. He did suggest that there should be a review or referendum around MMP because he didn't want to work with any numpties. Who do you think he's referring to?
Well, again, I don't really want to get into what he means by that because, frankly, it doesn't make the boat go faster.
You're not a numpty, eh?
Well, I just look at have ACT's ministers been consistent and effective? Yes, we have. If he wants to label that as a numpty or a Yahoo or whatever he's saying, then he can. But we just say, look, here's the deal, guys. ACT ministers actually get in and get the business done.
Now, Winston Peters, he took the Deputy Prime Minister role at the start, which has freed him up for campaign, and he's doing really well. He's doing well in the polls. Is he a little bit savvier than you? Do you sort of think, oh, I should have done that one?
Not really. You know, I don't know how closely you follow the polls, but he's actually fallen, and ACT overtook New Zealand First in the last One News poll. So I'm not sure that I buy the argument.
Are you kind of scrapping for the same votes? Because there's it feels from Māori, it feels like there's a very strong reach against Māori in those votes and the kind of policies and statements.
Yeah, so I don't buy that because Māori don't have one set of political views. I think saying that Māori will think the same is racist, so I wouldn't say that. Certainly, the ACT Party believes that we should have one law for all and one future together. We don't believe that the law should divide people up as patients getting different treatment. It should be on clinical need. We shouldn't be treated differently when it becomes just a medical.
That is a very clever slogan, the one law for all, and we've all got equal rights. But if we look back at the Treaty Principles Bill, I don't think we've spoken about since then, that, I mean, were you surprised at the backlash against that? It was pretty big.
Not really.
No?
No, because we have had for 40 years, the Waitangi Tribunal, the courts, the academics, much of the media, the public service, all buy into this idea that, as the Court of Appeal said in '87, the treaty created a, quote, partnership between races.
No, it didn't say that. It's not a partnership between races.
The Court of Appeal said those exact words.
The treaty is a constitutional arrangement, an international covenant between independent sovereign bodies that reaffirms pre-existing rights. It's not what you're saying it is.
Okay, well, I'm quoting the Court of Appeal, and they said in their 1987 judgment that it is a, quote, partnership between races. Okay, so that's, don't have a go at me, I'm just quoting what they said. And I actually disagree with what they said as well. I came out and said, actually, the treaty gives people tikanga katoa rita tahi, the same rights and duties.
Can you recite back to me Article 2 of Te Tiriti?
Not the whole thing. If you want me to do that, I could probably learn it, but it says in essence...
That is the guts of it.
The chiefs will have tino rangatiratanga over their taonga, in essence. And that is what I believe should be the law of the land. But I also believe that all New Zealanders should have property rights. All New Zealanders.
No, you're conflating different things. So the treaty is a constitutional arrangement. The Bill of Rights, a Human Rights Act and stuff like that, that's what looks after the equal rights stuff. You're conflating two different issues.
Well, frankly, that's your view.
Well, no, it's, I mean, where do you get your advice from in terms of what informs your policy perspective on Te Tiriti?
Well, I read, I listen to people, many conversations for many years.
Like who?
Form of view. I'm not going to name check everyone.
Why not?
Because frankly, people should be able to talk to a politician without thinking that that politician's going to wheel them out in an interview.
No, but I mean, I can quote.
Really, what you're really saying is that you don't think my views are credible. Well, frankly, you need to engage with what I'm actually saying, not try and discredit me by who I have or haven't talked to.
No, I'm just asking you because the judges have come out, the tribunals come out, historians, linguists, academics, the likes of Moana Jackson and Rob Cooper were the people that informed my understanding of it, the iwi analysis. I know, but yours is quite different to everybody else's.
Well, mine happens to be based in liberal democracy, the simple idea that each of us have the same rights and duties, and I actually believe that is what the treaty means.
We had 300,000 plus people present submissions, 40 to 100,000 that were walking the streets. There was a resounding kickback against the bill.
Yeah, we know all that, but also New Zealanders were asked, with a fair chance to be asked in a random sample, do you agree with these principles, that the Parliament and the government have the sole right to make law, that all people have the right to self-determine?
Who ran that poll?
It doesn't matter.
It does matter.
It doesn't matter because see, this is the thing, right? You don't want to debate facts. You want to try.
No, I'm just asking. I'm asking who ran the poll.
We need a high standard of debate here, right? So
I'm asking who ran the poll.
I can tell you who ran the poll, but it's not going to make any difference. It was a reputable polling company that trades for some of New Zealand's biggest corporations and political parties, that is widely trusted and reported by the media, including your former colleagues. So I think we can say it's a reliable poll. But before you ask me about that, you haven't even let me ask what the poll said. And what the poll said is that New Zealanders overwhelmingly believe in those principles. So we may have lost the vote on the Treaty Principles Bill, but we won the argument because people believe that a free society where people have equal rights, where Parliament makes the rules democratically, that's the way forward. And you can talk as much as you like about who you have to listen to and all these people are correct and based in fact. But the fact is that freedom, equality, democracy, those things work all around.
Those are...
Separating people into a partnership between races, which is what the Court of Appeal did say, doesn't work.
There's this huge body of evidence and so many people who say one thing and you say the other.
Yep.
It's an ideological difference, isn't it?
No.
Yes.
No.
You don't believe in collective rights, do you?
Here's two basic facts. First of all, you can argue about who the pollster is, but the fact is that overwhelmingly New Zealanders agree with those principles in the bill. But where do people live better lives, happier, healthier, wealthier, longer lives? It's where you have the rule of law, it's where you have democracy, it's where people are treated equally before the law. And by the way, I didn't say we're all equal. I said that we should have equal rights. That's equal opportunity. We have to decide, do we want the treaty to be a founding document? I would say yes. Do we want it to be interpreted as a partnership between races? The Court of Appeal says yes, the Waitangi Tribunal says yes, the Māori Party says yes. And do we want to be a liberal democratic society? I would say yes. You can't have all three of those. You can have any two of those, but you can't have all three of them.
More with David Seymour after the break.
The drama of Marama. The aroha of This Is Home.
I'm done.
The flavour of Kia Eats the World.
Just like Mum used to make.
And one app that just got better. Now all the whānau gets a profile, so you get more of what you're into. Now, pause over here, pick up over there. Update the app, sign in, and we'll handle the rest. All you need to decide
This is home.
is what to watch first. Download the new Māori Plus app now.
I just noted that this week you've been pushing for reform with regard to the public sector. Okay. So you want to repeal Section 73 of the Public Services Act, which covers good employer obligations.
Absolutely.
What is the problem you're trying to solve there?
People are sick and tired of feeling like they're in some sort of religious indoctrination camp.
What is the evidence that you are basing that comment on?
People that come up to us, look around, check no one's looking. And
No.
facing.
No, what?
I've had that in the last 6 hours.
Okay, so no,
People who write emails, they set up anonymous accounts. Sometimes they write to us from their own account. People who tell us constantly.
So grumbling in unnamed sources doesn't constitute robust evidence.
So what do you want people to do?
Well, where's an independently peer-reviewed evidential rate?
What you don't understand is that people aren't going to come out and say, by the way, I'm absolutely sick of all this rubbish.
So you don't have a report or some evidence?
People aren't going to put themselves forward.
So there's no report. That's all right.
People are scared to say this. That's the problem.
People are terrified.
But if you take, they are.
Terrified. Terrified of
not being
a karakia.
Of not being promoted, of losing their job if they speak.
What?
And you know why? Because as I was just trying to say, Tātaipo, you look at that, that's the Ministry of Education framework of cultural competency. To be at the top of that framework, you have to demonstrate that you don't only believe in a certain conception of the treaty, but you are influencing others to believe it too. That is not cultural competency. That is, frankly, organised bullying. That's why people are afraid. That's why, of course, there's no report.
I saw an ad floating around on Facebook the other day that said, nobody should be expected to take part in a prayer, karakia or other spiritual practices. What evidence is there that removing those practices and everything Māori is going to improve services?
If you have to have a separate agenda for your public service, that is that you also have to cultivate this belief system at the same time as doing your actual job, obviously that detracts from your job. So having to do more than one thing when one of them's not actually relevant to your job, of course that's going to take away from what you do.
So you've got some evidence about that?
Well, I think most people can work out that if you have to do two things, you can't do both of them as well as you can do one. I don't think that requires evidence. I think that's full of logic. As early as 1847, the Education Ordinance said if parents don't want religious instruction, they don't have to be having their kids in a religious instruction setting.
Do you find it difficult listening to a Christian prayer in Parliament?
Well, put it this way. I think there's other ways we could use the time.
So,
the ability.
But you're not. Are you going to fight for the change?
The ability to change that requires cross-party consensus. That is very unlikely to occur. On the other hand, We are campaigning to win government so we can change the rules for the public sector. So there's some concentration.
So you can still listen to a prayer and carry on and do your work though, can't you?
Well, you actually can't. I mean, during that time, you have to...
Yeah, but it hasn't upset you and, you know, trauma.
It has a cost, but there's a deeper cost, which is that when it is part of, frankly, an indoctrination program where ministries publish skills and competency matrices where you have to not only believe something but encourage other people to believe it, that is what our country was founded in part to stand against. People should be able to bring their whole selves.
So that's what's interesting is that it feels like you're wanting to go back to a monocultural kind of system.
Not at all. Well, that's what.
Because you know, assimilation was discredited ages ago.
What is being imposed now on the public service is a monoculture, and I'll give you an example. There's a woman applied for a job, and she was asked, "How do you practice te tiriti and te ao Māori in your home?" She said, "I don't. I'm Chinese." So what you're doing right now is exclusionary, is a monoculture.
Do you believe that a good employer would connect with staff and those they serve?
Well, you'd hope so, but
yeah.
If you don't, you won't get.
Because
results.
That's kind of how things have moved now. Is that a diverse communities require people that can connect with them to be able to deliver services.
Well, I don't think anyone doubts that whatsoever.
Oh, that's good. When your rationale...
Let me give you an example. Just last week, I was down at Māori with the attendance service in the area who are phenomenal people, so cool. There's about 10 of them in the team getting kids back to school. Just set a record for getting unenrolled kids back to school. You know how many languages that group of 10 people sent to speak? 9 different languages.
Awesome.
You have to do that in order. But you know what doesn't help with any of that? The good employer, the karakia, the indoctrination that te ao Māori is the only culture that matters. None of that helps. Having those people that can speak the language and connect with people and persuade them to get their kids back to school, that helps. But what you're defending stands in the way of it.
Why is it that you have such a resistance to things Māori?
I don't.
It feels like it.
Well, I can't be responsible for your feelings, Moana. You have to consider the possibility that what I'm saying may be true. And would you want that? People fearful, people feeling they're being indoctrinated against their will, people feeling that they're going to miss out on job opportunities or even miss out on promotion or not get a job at all because of their beliefs. I don't believe you believe that, Moana.
Do you believe in a Christian God or a religion or anything yourself?
I'm agnostic.
That's good to know. Bit of back and forth. See you after the break.
E te ao mai ai te māramatanga
Taku pātai tonu ki a tātou.
I te ao Māori.
Me te tapu anō hoki o te iwi Māori, o te hia mano tāngata e tai mai ai ki runga o pōneke.
Me te ngā kaupono.
Ko te ahua whakanui I etahi o ngā whakahaere.
Ko ngā kai kawe pūrongo e kawe nei I ngā kōrero.
Nā te pākina o ngā reo karanga I konei.
Ki roto ki ngā pūkoro o e nei kaimahi.
Te ao Māori News e kawe nei ngā kaupapa Māori ki te ao.
You know, a lot of people want to do a karakia right now because the Vacant by Design report just came out. Have you read that?
No, I haven't.
Oh, gosh. It was released this month and it was interviews with 1,800 workers in the public health system. And it really is disturbing. It's about the deliberate cost-driven understaffing that's deprived patients of care and health and really impacted the workers' well-being and their mental health.
So just let's get this straight. I'm not going to ask you who did the report, because I'm not cheap. But I am going to ask about what the report says on your claim. Deliberate
understaffing.
So why would anyone deliberately understaff? I mean, by definition, you would want the right amount.
No, sorry. Deliberate cost-driven understaffing.
Right. So
that just came out. That was released by the PSA.
Oh, there you go. So
on behalf of their workers.
The minister, well, no, on behalf of their members.
Their workers. Yeah, their workers.
Some workers, not all.
Yeah, their workers.
Their members who pay their dues. But nonetheless, people are invited to expand their workforce in different parts of the healthcare system when necessary. Now, that doesn't mean that they can just hire whoever they want any time. And there's always going to be a tension, and there's going to be some people who say, oh, you haven't let us hire enough. That's inevitable. But I actually think that what Simeon Brown's done is shown up in the results. We got much more vaccination, which we should all care about. Under Labor, the level of vaccination fell through the floor while the amount of money spent went through the roof. At the same time, people being seen in an emergency department within 6 hours. I mean, that's a shocking goal.
It is.
But we got better at doing it. People getting into their GP, people being seen by a cancer specialist. All of those measures are getting better. So certainly there's a view that the PSA has that's contradicted by the Minister. I would rather go for the evidence and look at the results.
The Māori and Pacific Admissions Program, MAPAS, the Health Workforce Plan 2024 calls for a growing workforce that reflects community need. So why has ACT criticised the Māori and Pacific Admissions Program at med school?
Well, first of all, does it work?
Yes.
How do you know?
The Medical Council data shows that Māori and Pacific graduates are more likely than other New Zealand graduates to practice in New Zealand beyond 8 years, to become specialist GPs, more likely to work in the regions, in the rural sector, and serve underserved communities. So that's a win-win for taxpayers, isn't it?
Is it?
Yeah, isn't it?
Does it justify racism?
How is it racist?
Because racism is when you treat a person differently based on their race. And in this case, MAPAS at Auckland and Mirror Society at Otago say you will get admission and you will be treated differently based on your race. I mean, I can't believe
No. You're conflating different things.
Hang on.
Do you believe that Māori are disproportionately represented in all the worst health statistics? Is that a fact?
That is absolutely true.
Okay. So the medical school outcome database suggests that, and that more Māori in the workforce is a prerequisite to improving Māori health. Do you accept that?
No.
Oh, so you're going against the evidence.
No. There are several things you've got to think about. Number one, has it got more Māori and Pacific into the medical profession? And no question, because that's what it's designed to do, and it allows lower pass rates.
It does not allow lower pass rates. They all have to graduate with the same.
People can work that out for themselves. No point us continuing arguing with it. I said admission, by the way. Next issue.
Why aren't you against the rural delivery kind of admissions scheme?
Because I'm against racism. I'm not against living in the country.
Oh, so it's geographical is okay?
Well, yes, because a person of any race can live in the countryside. Next issue. Having produced those people, do they actually tend to Māori and Pacific patients? Because if they're not tending to the Māori and Pacific patients, then they're not really going to have a lot of effect. Some do, some don't.
Targeted admissions programs are around the world. They're schemes that have been happening in Australia, Canada, the US, the UK. They all use targeted admissions schemes.
I mean, they all use slavery at one point. It doesn't, just because other countries don't do it, doesn't mean it's a good idea. It's a silly argument.
That's a really bad.
I agree. It's a silly argument. Just because somebody else did something doesn't mean you should do it.
It's called evidence. We did it.
It's not evidence.
It is evidence.
What you said is other countries have this policy. Yep.
Yeah. It's globally accepted.
Lots of countries have lots of silly policy. So was slavery at a certain time. It's a silly argument.
Goodness gracious, what a conflation. You've been in power for almost 3 years. What might you do differently if you get back in?
I think that we'll be a lot more focused on the bureaucracy. It is far bigger and less responsive than I realised. I was already pretty sceptical. I think there need to be far fewer government departments. I think there need to be fewer ministers. I think the meaning of what it is to be a minister needs to change in order that a person who's a minister is in charge of a government department, in charge of a budget, just one minister, just one department. They can fire the chief executive so you can get stuff done. Because at the moment, you've got 39 departments, you've got 28 ministers, 2 undersecretaries, you've got one department being MD with 23 ministers in charge, you've got one minister who's now in charge of 11 different departments. I mean, you draw the diagram, it's just crazy spaghetti, and I just want one-to-one accountability for getting results.
My daughter is 18 today.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she's going to vote, first-time voter, obviously. She's pretty smart, she's very caring. She is actually worried about the world. She says, Mum, I can't believe it. I'm turning into adult and the world's gone to hell in a handbasket. She's worried about climate, genocide, war, getting a job.
I reckon get on social media is my first advice.
It probably is one. Why might she vote for ACT? She's bilingual, very strong in her Māori identity.
It does feel like a tough world right now, but the only way we're going to overcome challenges, whether it's the job market, the environment, or world peace, is to unlock human creativity. And you can only do that in a free society. Only the ACT Party says that each person, doesn't matter your background, doesn't matter where you came from, we're not going to divide you up. We're just going to say, right, here's a safe country, a good education, an opportunity to get on and do your best.
Thank you. Kia ora.
Problem.
Now, you were probably like me and got an envelope in the mail last week. If you haven't, go to Vote NZ to check and update your details. The latest stats tell us that around 45% of eligible 18 to 25-year-olds are still not registered, so nudge the rallies and mates to enrol by October 4. That's us for tonight. Pō Marie.
For more Te Ao of Moana, stream full episodes now on Māori Plus.
Election season is coming.
And there's a lot of noise out there.
Promises.
Haupapa here, those policies.
And even those arguments.
All those votes will hit the head.
Engari, he hara wa te pāpātanga ki te iwi Māori.
That's where we come in. What else was in the headlines this week, whānau? To bring you insight from those closest to the kaupapa.
So what does the power of my vote do?
And help make sense of the 2026 election. Ka tērā whakatau. No. Ka te whakatau. I Te Ao Māori News and Māori Plus.
Bringing to light Māori perspectives. Breaking the hard stories.
Today is a perfect opportunity for all of us to pause, to ask ourselves, what have we learned?
Nau mai, hoki mai ki Waitangi 2026.
Like a lot of us, I'm still on my own haringa, working out what it means to be Māori to me.
We're all survivors because she sheltered us. She sheltered our people.
My pronunciation's really bad.
You sound all right to me.
I meant my Te Reo Māori.
Oh.
Yes, girl.
This is home.
Ko te puawaitanga ia mai o tō tātou ahurea, ki o tātou pākainga. He inati, he manamana hau.
Kia Māori tau, kia Māori ora, kia ora.